Beast mode, how about God mode? What is going on, Nerd Squad, and welcome back. I'm your host for today, Taylor McWatters. And superheroes get upgrades quite often. Even Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth, seems to be getting bigger and bigger every movie. I mean, look at this. This is insane. How is that even possible? That's not CGI? Really? Okay. Other superheroes have also gotten quite the upgrade in comic books as well. So without further ado, guys, here are the top 10 superheroes who became a god. Let's get holy. Kicking off the list at number 10, we have Iron Man. The Fear Itself storyline is a wild ride. The Serpent is after Earth and people are getting turned into statues. It is a absolute nightmare. Tony is fighting Mock in the streets of Paris and it's not looking good. So now we need another plan. What's plan B? Plan B was Tony getting permission from Odin himself, forge a weapon of his own on Nidavellir. Now Tony ends up making weapons for the entire team after sobering up. He was really slamming drinks down and then he prayed to Odin. You know, really going through it. And then in issue 7, Tony and the team now have an Asgardian makeover. Just walking, talking hammers of Thor, basically. Now they of course won, everything went back to normal, but Tony destroyed the weapons afterwards because, you know, you can't have those things lying around, obviously. Number 9, Star-Lord. Okay, we gotta go to film just for one point here because we can't leave this one out. At the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, was able to hold an Infinity Stone with his bare hands. He held the Power Stone. Now, this didn't go unnoticed. Even groups of beings in the past have tried to do that by sharing the power amongst all of them, and it never works. They end up going like, whoa, and they turn to skeletons. Now, his real father turned out to be a celestial. He was a living planet. His name was Ego. Rightfully so. So Ego goes around and he like reproduces all over the galaxy and then he wipes the planets out. He gets bigger and stronger. He's a god. Peter Quill's now a god as well. They're playing god, son, and father catch. So as long as Ego's alive, Star-Lord is basically a god. We have a big celestial battle at the end of the movie where he's fighting his dad and he's turning into Pac-Man. It's kind of weird. It's a little dumb, but it's fun. So once Ego was taken care of, Peter lost his god powers and went back to just normal, plain old Star-Lord, which is still pretty cool. I'm kind of glad he's not a god because that was a weird part. I mean, it would have been helpful in Infinity War. Maybe all those punches to Thanos' face would have done some damage rather than, you know, kill everyone. Number 8, Crystal. She made her first debut in Fantastic Four issue 45, and she was the second child born from Inhumans, Quaylen and Amber. Now, she actually brought Quicksilver back to Adelon to heal him, then the two fell in love there. She's basically a god. I have to include her because, I mean, she's pretty underrated. She has a bunch of these incredible abilities, and one of those abilities is atomic manipulation. She can rearrange atoms and all of the elements as well. She can control anything in the universe, basically. That plus her ability to levitate without the help of any elemental powers. I don't really know what else to call her. She's definitely a god. And if she ever is under attack, she can use air molecules and bind them together psionically and then make a force field for herself. So you don't want to mess with Crystal. Very underrated, 100%. Number 7, Wolverine. Wolverine's been known to be the time travel guy. He makes the confusing runs because his regeneration ability allows him to really go deep. It gives him the advantage in Days of Future Past type plots. Now in Uncanny X-Men Annual, a villain named Horde comes in and wipes the entire team out, Wolverine included, but a single drop of blood saves the day. A single drop from Wolverine falls onto the Crystal of Ultimate Vision, and then bam, Wolverine now leveled up. He regrows his body with his new power, and then he brings the pain down on Horde. It's unreal. It's pretty amazing to see. Like, Logan is just so happy in these scenes. I mean, obviously he's a god, but he knows all the secrets of the universe. He's finally at peace. Look at him. He even referenced another X-Men who once became a god herself. That X-Men being number 6, Jean Grey. Jean Grey is a mutant born with telekinetic and telepathic powers. She was one of the original members of the X-Men, and seeing the potential in Jean's strength, the Phoenix Force attached itself to her while she was in danger during a space mission with the Fantastic Four. That all happens during X-Men issue 101. So now she's a Dark Phoenix and she's full of power, full on god mode. This dark, powerful cosmic force started to change her for the worse. She ended up destroying a solar system that killed like, I don't know, billions of people, and then it ended up taking her own life in order to keep the universe safe. So a few years later, it was revealed that it wasn't actually the Jean Grey that had died. It was just the Phoenix as a separate entity that had taken over her mind and all that stuff. The Phoenix Saga is one of the biggest transformations to an X-Men member. If you haven't read it, go check it out immediately. Number 5, KUURTH. This one comes from Fear Itself storyline. Juggernaut was already pretty terrifying to begin with, but then he got an upgrade and a prison was destroyed. It was a mess. The Hammer of KUURTH was one of the 7 mystical warhammers that the serpent summoned to awaken the worthy. Remember that serpent guy that I mentioned earlier? That's the same one. So the hammer crashed onto the raft and Juggernaut just happened to be detained at the raft shaft at that exact time. And the most frightening and obvious and most entertaining thing happened. He was quickly turned into KUURTH, Breaker of Stone, which sounds even more scary than Juggernaut somehow. He attacked a nearby guard with one hit, and the shockwave was so powerful that the prison and all the land around it just exploded. And at the same time, Hulk became Null, Breaker of Worlds. So it was a mess. Whoever had to sweep up the streets after this, their back must be in so much pain. Number 4, Kid Omega. Quintavious Quire made his first appearance in X-Men issue 134. He's been described as one of the most powerful telepaths next to Jean Grey. He stood out to Professor X as a brilliant student, and his abilities were never crystal clear. On his birthday, when he was still young, he received this fantastic phone call from his parents to say that he was adopted. Yeah, happy birthday, worst gift ever. So from then on, it went downhill. He got this Omega tattoo that he covered over the X tattoo, and he was in the Omega Gang now. And the Omega Gang handled humans that committed crimes against mutants in their own dark way. So he was troubled, to say the least. But things got harder for him when the Phoenix Force came along, as things always do. This happens in Wolverine and the X-Men issue 37. Quentin gets a good look at the Phoenix Force when he becomes an avatar to it, and his future self was shown to be a host as well. Real trippy moment for him. Number 3, Batman. The Mobius chair is a pretty powerful chair. It made its first appearance in New Gods issue 1, and the chair was created by Mobius himself, aka the Anti-Monitor. Now he gave the chair to Metron, but Metron slipped up one day, and Batman ended up becoming a god for a hot minute. It's pretty sweet. Wonder Woman grabbed Metron with her lasso and pulled his ass right off, and right before he could summon boom tubes, Batman just jumped on it like musical chairs. And then the Dark Knight becomes a bright light. He became the god of knowledge. Batman became the god of knowledge. What an upgrade that was. The whole team is fighting Darkseid, and Batman is just floating in this chair, figuring the universe out the entire time. Like, oh my god. He's searching the cosmos for answers, and it's honestly quite the spectacle to read. And as if things couldn't get better for him, add a power wing into the mix. Yeah, this guy was literally unstoppable. Number 2, Supergirl. Kara Zor-El was 15 years old when her cousin Kal-El was born. She was launched into space right before Krypton's demise and spent 2 decades orbiting Earth's sun while she remained in stasis. Now her pod eventually crashed down in Siberia, and these giant armed robots started to, try and fight her. Now when she fought back, she learned that she wasn't the same. She learned that she was a lot stronger than whatever the hell was around her. And then when Superman himself showed up, the two fought, as she didn't really recognize the stranger or believe him about Krypton's, So right off the bat, she's got a lot of rage and confusion inside of her. Now this rage had a chance to come out and get even with the world when she became the Red Daughter of Krypton. This was an ultimate upgrade, definitely counting this as becoming a god. I mean, look at her, that's pretty cosmic and unstoppable. I don't really know what else to call her. And as crazy as it may sound, joining the Red Lanterns helped Kara get over her anger and isolation issues, and she gained emotional stability from it. Get over your depression in these easy steps, just become a god. 4 issues later in Red Lanterns 32, Guy Gardner kicked her out for her own safety. But for that bit of time, Kara was probably loving life. And finally, number 1, Wonder Woman. Now I know Wonder Woman is already basically a god, being the daughter of Zeus and all, but once she became a god of war in the New 52. Wonder Woman issue 23 and 24, we find Wonder Woman taking on the Firstborn, but it wasn't looking good for Diana. She needed help until she went god mode on everybody. Diana has to make the hard choice of driving a spear through Firstborn and Ares. So Ares gave Diana congratulations for being a mighty warrior, and Wonder Woman spared the Firstborn's life and took Ares to the River Styx. And then when Wonder Woman returned, the gods declared her the new god of war. What a promotion. Guys, those are just 10 superheroes who became gods. Let us know in the comments who else you'd love to hear of. And also, before you leave, make sure you check out one of our playlists. You can do a nice little weekend binge. I've been your host, Taylor McWatters. Thank you so much for joining us on Top 10 Nerd, and we'll see you next time. Peace.